Am I the butthole for telling my sister with cancer bad things happen to bad people? Me, 27 male, and my sister, Ava 31, have never gotten along for a number of reasons. I was adopted at age 8 and she still only addresses our parents as her parents, and she calls me a family friend, not her brother, when introducing me to people. I was overweight for most of my childhood and she used to bully me over it a lot. I have a stereotypically girl name. I was named after my birth mom. For the sake of this post, think Kelly or Anna. Something boring and basic but unmistakably girly, and she continues to this day to bully me over it. She outed me as gay to our entire high school in the school paper. She says I ruined her life because I encouraged her parents to foster our other 2 siblings. She once locked me out of our house for 3 days while my parents were out of town. I was 13 and had to stay at the neighbor's house because she wouldn't open the door even when my parents called and told her to. There are many more examples for her being awful, but these ones came to mind first. Last week, Ava called me, my siblings, and my parents and asked us to come over for lunch. Me and my siblings had to stop and pick up food on the way over to her house. She won't cook for us, only for our parents, so we drove together. When we got there, our parents were already there in the kitchen crying. I asked what happened and Ava told us that she had cancer and she wanted our support. I said I'm sorry about that cause I really didn't know what else to say. Ava and my parents got upset and we all basically got into a screaming match. I told her that she really shouldn't be surprised that karma finally found her. Ava asked what I meant and I told her that bad things happen to bad people. She started sobbing and I walked right out the front door. My parents have been calling me to say that I was an and my siblings are mad that I drove away without them, but they agree that Ava is awful. I'm starting to feel kind of bad because I know how horrible cancer is and I know that no one deserves to go through that. Am I the butthole? Everyone sucks here. Your sister sucks for the horrible way she has treated you for years. Your parents suck for not stopping her behavior. And you suck for thinking that cancer is a punishment that bad people get. I lost a very good friend to cancer almost 2 years ago. She was a lovely woman and did nothing to deserve cancer. I imagine most people who have cancer have not done anything that would warrant that horrible disease. She was a lovely woman and did nothing to deserve cancer. I imagine most people who have cancer have not done anything that would warrant that horrible disease. Sadly, this is true. The good ones go first and then the bad ones seem to live forever at it. People keep complaining that I'm saying cancer only happens to bad people. WTF, where are you people making this stuff up? I was just talking about how buttholes seem to live longer and make us suffer. I mean, the real truth is that cancer just doesn't give a F if you are good or bad. Yep. F cancer. R.I.P. my daughter, brother, mother, father, mother-in-law, grandmother, grandfather. I'm sorry for your losses. I literally don't know what to say other than, I'm so sorry for all of your heartache. F cancer. Very sorry for your loss. Do you guys live in roughly the same area? All I could think was genetic or environmental, given that much. Immediate family, probably environmental. Look up the Caring for Camp Lejeune Families Act of 2012. The base water was poisoned with heavy metals. They knew for decades and did nothing. Also genetic. Can be passed from both sides. We are only just finding more genetic illnesses. We have just found out my mother's line has a very rare genetic quirk which has 10 to 16% chance renal cancer. Weird. Don't have cancer in her family at all. But in others, it has wiped them out. Only discovered the genetic issue actually existed in 2011. It's found in us, and in Mormon families in the US. We're Aussies. Wondering which of our ancestors shagged a Mormon. So now, my cousins have genetic disposition to really nasty cancers on both sides of the family. Damn. Sorry about that. I figure cancer will eventually catch me. It is like the sword of Damocles. But what are you going to do? Live your life with as much joy as possible. Basically. Thanks to socialized healthcare, I will get regular MRIs to keep an eye on my kidneys. And my kids will likely start them from 18 years old. It'll be something to consider when they are deciding to have kids. I just found out yesterday my grandpa has terminal lung cancer and has 2 months to live. F cancer. I am so sorry. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for your losses, fellow stranger. Hope you are doing well. Yup. Parents and a couple of cousins here. Everything about cancer, and the mods would probably prefer I didn't share my precise opinion about the original poster, thinking it's a punishment for bad people. I'm so sorry. Cancer is a horrible disease. It probably would have been smarter to sidestep the whole deserving cancer issue and just say, good, I hope you suffer. And be done with it. Sure. But I'd like to point out that you deserve to have XYZ happen to you == XYZ only happens to people who deserve it, which is what the top commenter seems to think. I really don't blame original poster either way. He said it in the heat of the moment as they were hounding him for not giving more than a pro forma statement of regret. For crying out loud, this woman is 31 and still makes a point of excluding her foster siblings by not making enough food for them when she is cooking for their parents. She sounds like a real piece of work, and their parents are too, not only for not protecting their foster kids better, but for not understanding why original poster is not that bummed about her having cancer. Agree with every word you typed 1000%. AITA has made it her life goal to treat original poster horribly, including and up until the present. Yes, cancer sucks complete ass, but it's not something that will magically build a bridge between her and original poster. He went to her house and expressed his condolences. He was a lot nicer to her than I could have been if I endured similar circumstances. And as far as I'm concerned, Op's parents are just as guilty for letting her crafty behavior towards not just original poster but the other foster kids continue for as long as it has. She sounds like the type to use it to her advantage too. She pretty much already is by demanding her siblings' support despite how horribly she treated them all because they're not blood related to her. Do we even know what type of cancer she has? Cause there's a big range between an early stage skin tumor that can excised in an outpatient procedure and metastatic terminal cancers. Yeah, that's another good point. Cancer falls under a pretty broad umbrella. Sure. But I'd like to point out that you deserve to have XYZ happen to you == XYZ only happens to people who deserve it, which is what the top commenter seems to think. That's not what original poster said though. He said, bad things happen to bad people, which does imply that the bad thing happened because she deserved it. I mean, he didn't say, bad things only happen to bad people. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for wording something poorly in the heat of the moment. Op might have said it in the heat of the moment. Unfortunately, they left the fellow foster/adopted siblings to deal with the fallout. So now, they are in the awkward spot of hearing the fight and pressured to reassure a horrible person that they are not a flaming hot mess of a person. Everyone sucks here with the sister, the parents being the biggest butthole and the other siblings not a-holes. One of my best friend's baby was diagnosed with neuroblastoma in early 2019. She rang the chemo bell on June 11, 2019. 2 weeks ago, the doctor told us that her tumor was back. Yesterday, they told us it had more than doubled in size since her previous scan. She's not even 3 years old and this disease is probably going to take her from the world. Cancer doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. I wasn't saying that cancer gets the good people first, just that the buttholes don't seem to ever die and live a long time. Cancer is the butthole. I don't think original poster believes cancer happens to bad people, but that original poster reached a breakthrough. More of a breaking point than a breakthrough, but I know what you mean. And you suck for thinking that cancer is a punishment that bad people get. I kind of agree with your comment in general, but that particular point above might not actually be what original poster is thinking, since it stemmed firstly from him mentioning karma. I can see him say that comment just to point out how horrible his sister was and to imply that she deserved it, rather than anyone else getting cancer must also have deserved it. Maybe a better specific phrase could have been sometimes bad things happen to bad people like they should or similar. In any case, I think it was still a little butthole-ish of original poster to say that so everyone sucks here, but because of how terrible as the sister was/is, I have no issues if original poster feels like a justified Agree, your interpretation is more likely. Original poster did not say that cancer is a punishment that only bad people get. Nor did she imply that anyone who gets cancer is a bad person. It's like the logic problem. Dogs are animals. All dogs have 4 legs. Therefore, all animals have 4 legs. False. Now, whether that's a odd thing to say, I'm going to go with not the butthole for a very specific reason. Op tried to say something non-committal, I'm sorry about that, but Ava and the parents started a screaming match. While Ava is sick, she seriously was demanding sympathy from someone she has treated badly since they were young children, and the parents let her treat original poster badly by doing nothing. Op tried to be discreet. They forced the issue by deciding she wasn't sufficiently distraught over the cancer announcement. Why would Ava, who treated original poster like crap, and the parents who knew Ava treated original poster like crap, expect her to pull on the hair shirt and wail in grief? Why would they push the issue to the point where years of being treated badly finally bubbled to the surface? It is utterly disingenuous of Ava to expect sympathy or even compassion from original poster after a literal lifetime of bad treatment. Just because you're sick doesn't mean that you should be forgiven or that all past sins are erased. Again, original poster tried to say something appropriate, I'm sorry about that, but Ava wasn't having it. She pushed it until she got the response that she not only deserved, but also probably was hoping to get to make original poster look bad, as she's done since they were young. This sounds more like just another manipulation in a lifetime of manipulation by Ava against original poster. Having cancer does not make Ava a nice person who deserves sympathy or compassion, nor does it wash away all past transgressions. The inappropriate outburst by original poster was after being hectored for not having the right reaction. Edits: apparently, I kept switching pronouns, so needed to standardize. I commented not the butthole as well, but your post is so well worded, so have an upvote. He gets an off from me because he went there with the foster siblings and then left them there in the aftermath. You never ever leave a man, or woman, behind. I find just going there at all problematic. If she's horrible enough that she'll invite people to dinner, but will only serve some of them, it's never an invite to accept. A long time ago, it became time to refuse to attend any event she was at. And that went double for these dinner invitations. Yeah, that's why he's the butthole for me. Kind of messed up thing to do. I remember a House episode when he said something along the line of not all cancer patients are angelic and stoic. Some have to be awful people. Some have to be awful people. Example, Rush Limbaugh. It's like a funeral. Doesn't matter how much of a butthole, or bad person the person that died was, at the funeral there will be at least one person to tell everyone how wonderful and selfless and giving they were. Bad news makes people want to forgive bad behavior. Cancer is a horrible thing. I've lost more than one person important to me because of it. But that doesn't mean that her diagnosis makes her not a bad person. She's just a bad person with a horrible diagnosis. A bad situation does not mean all is well, and we should talk about, or treat, someone differently than what they are or deserve. Not the butthole. To quote the great Bill Burr, you die as the angry guy. That's the worst dude to die as, because then people have got to try to think of happy crap to say about you at your funeral. They're just sitting there like, he always paid his bills on time, You've got to give him that, God damn it, you gave this guy a bill, he paid it. This guy was a bill-paying son of a bitch, ironed his shirts. I got nothing. Edit: aw, man, I wish I knew what that guy said that wasn't civil, I didn't see it. Someone got mad over quoting a comedian? Lamau. I'm going to agree with you and vote not the butthole. Agree with everything you said. However, you switched to the wrong pronouns, as original poster is male. Only pointing it out as he was teased for having a feminine name, so being referred to as she might touch a sore spot. Ava sounds so horribly disingenuous and cruel. If I were original poster, I'd block her out of my life completely, cancer or not. Not the butthole. I totally agree with this. It isn't like he burst out laughing and taunted her. So well said, I'll throw in an agree also. Not the butthole. Everyone sucks here, so her for obvious reason, but you for implying that cancer hits only bad people also. Bad things happen to everyone, not just bad people. Where did they say only? They didn't. People read what they want to read to fuel their outrage. Edit: gosh, thanks for the awards. Tell your people you love them. I can't believe you would say that about me. Bad things get said to bad people. I view Op's comment said in the heat of the moment when pushed to the edge. Sometimes we just have off moments. I recently lost my dad to cancer. But what original poster said was funny as F, and does not read like they believe cancer to only affect bad people. It's like someone saying, well, bad things happen to bad people, which is a common, banal phrase, and getting pissed off and saying, what about me? Am I a bad person? The statement had nothing to do with anyone other than Ava. If you read it and feel targeted, that's on you. Op also tried to give a less offensive, more generic response, but that wasn't good enough for these buttholes. Hard not the butthole, no question. Right? I lost my dad to terminal illness, not going to get into it, but along similar lines of cancer, I also find this hilarious. Op tried to be civil and not go overboard, his family forced his explanation. Also, he didn't say bad things only happen to bad people, he's just saying karma's a bitch. On another note, I'm impressed with Op's attempt to be civil, because I either would have said good or just not shown up. Yes, I know I'm in butthole. People can't expect kindness and forgiveness just because they're dying. The harm they cause doesn't disappear because they're sick. I'll likely get downvoted for this, but not the butthole. Several people did not show up to my grandfather's, who died of cancer, funeral. Family members, so it was glaringly obvious that they were missing. When asked why, the response was because he was a massive Ajit. He was horrible man when he was alive, now he's dead, he's still a horrible man, just a dead horrible man. I couldn't fault them. My grandfather was one of my best friends, taught me so much through that teaching, aided me in forging a brilliant career. But my God. He was a complete wanker to loads of people. Regarding the op, to him Ava is a wanker, she's got cancer in May, whatever. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Yet ask Ava's friends group, and they probably think she's a right salt of the earth kind of gal, give you the shirt from her very back. That's how we often see our friends. If they saw Ava from the original poster eyes, they might think what a knobber. One thing that always stuck with me after grandfather's death, I told one neighbor lady he died of cancer and she looked me dead in the eye and said, doesn't surprise me, he was always rotten to the core, and I was gobsmacked. She had a daughter diagnosed with cancer, yet she really did think cancer had rotten him in line with his behavior from her point of view. 100% agree. Not the butthole. Thank you. So many commenters are going on tirades about, well, they lost a friend to cancer that volunteered with paraplegic orphans, did they deserve it too? Or I've been assaulted, abused, been injured, gotten cancer, any other bad thing, and making this statement about his sister and only his sister about their struggles and how they didn't deserve it. He's not insulting people with cancer, he's insulting his sister. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.